Welcome to this episode of Build the Weight Loss Practice of Your Dreams. This is Carol Clark here, and today I wanted to talk about grooves. And I'm all about a groove in your practice because I think that your practice should have your own personality and the personality of you and your team and something that you really enjoy and that your patients enjoy. So I love seeing things being done differently and really showing a personality, sort of a groove in your office. And we like to think that we have sort of a groovy office, from our decor to just our different team members and how they complement each other with, the diverse workplace and that sort of thing. But you can also have grooves in your practice that can become cracks. And what I'm talking about are those things that in your mind or in your heart, are just not quite running the way that they should, or are not functioning the way that they should. And so you think about it and then you go, it's going to be more work to address that. It's going to be more work to train them than to just continue on the way we are, and I'll just keep doing it. Or I know that there seems to be a little bit of a rift going on, but I'm sure it'll fix itself in the end. And so we can have these little grooves that are there that over time start to erode and actually become big cracks in your practice. Whether it's you notice a little bit of perhaps finances are a little bit off, and there could be some, something going on with regards to some embezzlement. It could be something going on even with someone in your practice where it just doesn't seem quite right. They don't seem themselves, and so you just kind of let it go, or you'll see somebody snap it at another person, and you'll notice that over time you've brought in some new awesome people, but they tend to keep leaving, and you wonder why, even though you do know that there's a little bit of this interpersonal rift that's going on. So there can be lots of different things. It could be that, it could be your number of referrals from a particular referral source that used to be great tends to be not going so well, and your number of referrals have decreased. You may have a decrease in a particular payer mix, whether it's a self-pay or from somewhere else. There's all these little things that you'll notice, and you might be just too busy to deal with it. And so you don't even address that. But those are the things that you will do yourself a greater service to address them, especially if it's a bigger thing, than to let it just continue to ride. And I've seen and I've experienced times where there are some interpersonal things that need to be addressed, or there may be some performance issues that are not up to par, some telephone skills that you might just not be wanting to take the time to sit down and actually fully train them. But you can delegate some of these things, but it does oftentimes fix itself rather quickly with a conversation. So opening it up and getting to know your employees and asking them, is something going on? Allowing them to, having the expectation for two people to talk to each other about any sort of a disagreement or problem before they come and involve their next line manager. But taking a look at those sorts of things before it gets into a crack, taking that groove and addressing it earlier before it gets to a crack, is actually something that can save you a lot of time and energy. It's also a great way to just kind of nip things in the bud, so to speak. And perhaps you're misinterpreting it. Perhaps it's a misunderstanding. But opening those lines of communication just shows your respect for your team. It shows that you care. It shows that you really do want this to be working very well for everybody. And it's just a great time to address that. If it's with a referral source, maybe it's a matter of having a conversation with them. If it's something related to paramedics, you need to look into maybe something's changed in your marketing, something that used to be working well that's not working well. If it relates to finances, that involves sort of doing sometimes, a deep dive into your finances and sort of a forensic review of that. And if your revenue's dropping, it might be that you've had a change in your billing and collections. Perhaps there's been a change in staffing. There's been some software changes, things that just haven't been addressed. That's the importance of keeping up with your financial reports on a regular basis. But these are the things that, if caught early, can really prevent some higher amounts of issues that take a lot longer to fix. So if you notice a groove, if it's a cool groove, go with it. And if it's working well for your practice, but if it's a groove that's sort of eroding part of your practice's personality, part of your practice's revenue streams, part of your practice's financial outcome, part of your practice's referral sources, if it's things that are affecting those, the relationships between and amongst teams, those things, if you address them earlier, you're going to save yourself from ending up having a big crevice, a crack that becomes a big crevice that takes a lot more time and resources to correct. So I hope this has been helpful. If there's something that you want to chat about, give me a call or email me, Carol, Karol, at weightlosspracticebuilder.com. Message me. If you're not a member of Bariatric Business Boss, join in there. Then we get to talk on a regular basis all the time. So anyhow, I hope you're having a great day and that this serves you well. And I will talk to you next week for our next podcast. Take care.